Hey guys, what's up? This is the Wizard again for the UofTSCC Club, and today I'm going to be doing a very short episode of Office Hours. As you noticed, perhaps my co-caster Tim Pikachu is not here with me. Unfortunately, he is busy with exams, studying hard. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing a very brief Office Hours on a very interesting replay I got sent in for me by NGStar, Nicholas, yeah, I think that's who sent it in. And he sent me an interesting message with the email. He said that he's a Protoss player switching over to Terran, so he's going to be asking me to analyze to see, what he could be doing better on all the usual good jazz that we do on Office Hours. But I took this as an opportunity to kind of be like a StarCraft anthropologist and be like, see what sort of traits that Nicholas here has left over from his days of Protoss, I guess you could say. So already we can see that there's a little bit of an interesting thing going on here. He sends his first SCV here, and this is a very minor thing. It's just one of these little funny Protoss things that I picked up on when I watched this replay for the first time. He sends his first SCV here to build a supply depot, and then he sends it out to scout the base. And when you're a Protoss player, of course, you know that you 9 pylon, and then that's your scouting probe. Of course, it doesn't work quite like that when you're a Terran player. You got to build the supply depot, and it's always better, always more economically feasible to keep your SCV just right here by the front door instead of taking another one off your mineral patches to build this barracks here. So he's going to be going up against this Zerg player, and another thing that I'm going to want to talk a little bit about is strange timings for attacks. And this isn't necessarily a thing that NGStar does because he's switching over from Protoss to Terran, but it's something that I saw in Day 9 Daily number 377 or something like that. It's where he was talking about Goody's TVZ mech play, and it's interesting because as soon as I watched that video, I watched this replay like shortly after it, and like NGStar does the exact same thing that Day 9 was talking about. But mainly I'm going to be looking at things that he could be doing better, perhaps to see if that he could be doing better as a Terran player, perhaps. So let's comment a little bit on his build order. He's going to do this very strange, I will say, 2 barracks siege tank timing. And the reason that you're going to see it being so effective against a Zerg is possibly because the Zerg doesn't scout it, as you're going to see. He sends 2 Zerglings to the front of Nick's base here, and then he doesn't send anything else after that, doesn't sack any Overlords. But also because this is just such a strange timing, because what we're going to see here is that NGStar opts to get no add-ons for any of his barracks. Only an add-on going on this this factory here. And because this is such a low-tech push, which still allows you to get an expansion out, I don't think this I was going to say assimilator. I don't think this refinery actually needs to be here, because he's only got 1 worker mining out of it. The 75 minerals he could have been spending on another depot or a marine and SCV. So yeah, this refinery doesn't need to be here. I definitely think you can pull this push off with just 1 refinery because of how low tech it is, and we're going to see how low tech it is. And this is what I was talking about. This Zerg player just does an atrocious job of scouting this push. Yeah, but another thing that I noticed picked up on from NGStar's play here is that he makes a blunder in the fact that he puts his barracks here instead of putting it usually where you put it right here in the middle, because that way when you lift it off and put an add-on onto it, it doesn't mess up your wall in, because when you try and put an add-on here, you have to make some really funky weird wall-ins with this space right here. But besides that, we're going to see him do this push coming up in just a little bit, and NGStar, he's doing perfect. He's like obviously his fundamentals very good as a Protoss, because he's keeping up with the work account with his Zerg. This is a platinum level replay, by the way. I think he's playing against a diamond level Zerg. He's keeping up with the worker count and macroing very effectively. I don't think he's been supply blocked all game, so it's very good. And here we go, we see him moving out. And this is something that I think that stayed with him over from his Protoss days, is he didn't put any add-ons onto this onto these barracks. I'm going to pause right here just so I can talk about this a little bit more. The thing that bothers me almost about this is for this push, I don't mind there not being any add-ons. But you'll see that even after he goes and does this push, he doesn't put any more add-ons on it. In fact, he puts down another barracks here on top of his command center, and he just keeps pumping like these unupgraded Marines at all, or these not upgraded Marines. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that for this push, I really like that he doesn't have any add-ons to his barracks, because that just makes him able to pump out so many Marines. Like, he doesn't waste any production time getting any of the add-ons, and any of the production time, or any time waiting for the upgrades to be complete, like Stim Pack or Combat Shield. So I'm going to go ahead and start it again. So I like this right now, but just in the future, if Nick remembers, he's got to remember to put these add-ons onto the barracks here, because it's very important to get your upgrades for Marines. They're not very good just by themselves. And this is pretty funny, actually, because we're going to see some BM at the end of the game here. That's another reason why this replay is pretty funny, because the Zerg player gets a little upset. But he definitely saw this push coming. I didn't realize this, but he had the watchtower control, and he definitely saw this push coming, so I don't know if he just over-droned. It doesn't look like he over-droned. He only has 27 drones. So I don't know what the Zerg player was doing. If he got an early layer, no. He got a Roach Warren. But it doesn't matter. We're not doing this to analyze the other player, and it's not to take away from Nick's. We're analyzing Nick's replay, not this other guy's replay. So I think Nick could have handled this a little better. Obviously, you don't want your Marines to take splash damage from the tanks, so you always want to micro them back. Obviously, coming from Protoss, you didn't have to deal with splash damage. I guess unless it was storms, and here we go. There's a nice BM. Everyone can have a little laugh at that. Besides storms, it's the only really AoE thing that you have to worry about. Against speedlings, it's not that important to micro against them. And of course, he doesn't have stim packs, so his microing options are very limited, as is. But against drones, you should definitely be running away. You shouldn't be engaging drones with your Marines. We're going to see NG clean up this Zerg very easily. And this guy is not happy about losing at all. And back at his base, we see this. I'm going to see what time this command center went down, actually, just to see how well timed it was. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So it finishes just about 9 minutes, and so it gets started about 8 minutes, which is good. Maybe the reason he didn't put down any add-ons in retrospect was just because he figured that the game was over by now and he didn't have to worry about it. But in my opinion, you should always play to win. Never let up. Never, always play to win. I guess is the best way to put it. Like, always put down your add-ons. Keep playing, even though you've killed pretty much all his drones. The game looks like it's going to be over. There could be some freak accident where you, like, attack your tank by accident or something. That was really weird. I don't know how that tank blew up. Where you attack your tank by accident and, like, lose all your army or something like that. You don't want to lose to any weird stuff like that. Just keep playing to win, man. Just never stop playing. But yeah, he's looking very good. 3 barracks, 1 factory, and this push came at. Oh right, I forgot to talk about the push. It's like the main thing I wanted to talk about in this whole video, and I forgot to talk about it. We're gonna rewind a little bit to get to that push. I think it hits the Zerg's base at like 8 minutes. The thing I like the most about this push then is that it comes at such a weird time, which is why I think that the Zerg was not prepared at all. As we can see, he's getting his +1 melee. He has spore crawlers up because he did a very poor job scouting, and I guess he was afraid of banshees or something like that. But this attack comes at 8 minutes, or this push comes at 8 minutes 1 second. This is easily 4 minutes before you'd expect even the earliest Marine tank pushes, because Zergs know that you have to usually wait for your Marines. You have to, or wait for a decent amount of Marines, and wait for your combat shield, wait for your stim pack before you're ever going to move out. So unintentionally or intentionally, NGStar managed to happen upon this really nice timing where the Zerg is just getting lair, halfway done lair, is just finished making a few rounds of drones, doesn't have a lot of larvae. He's only got 4 larvae here, 3 larvae, 7 larvae. It's only 14 Zerglings. And all he has to defend is some queens and a few Zerglings, which is terribly ineffective against 2 siege tanks. Very good siege tank placement back here, by the way. Siege tanks are so delicate. You always want to have one that's just bolted to the ground there and ready to shell out some Zerg, or shell out some pain on the Zerg there. So this is excellent, this siege tank placement. But yeah, this push is so brilliant because it comes before Zerg are typically ready for pushes like this. And I think that's why it's so successful. Again, we're going to see him just kill everything. The expansion probably could have been up sooner. A little bit sooner. Maybe... where was I going with that? Before this, maybe stopping the bit of production here and putting this command center down quicker, especially when he's killed so many drones. Like, he killed all the drones as expansion because the guy pulled. I'm using BM, and then that's the game. So, Nick, your game is... so, in summary, I guess I would say to Nick that his game was very good. Hitting this excellent timing with the push. Before the Zerg was usually prepared for Marine tank pushes, although he should have been way more prepared because he saw it coming. Was excellent happening upon that timing. Very, very good. Very well done. Low tech pushes. I think that's what I put it down as. Yeah, low tech pushes. I put it down in my little notebook here. You know, having the Marines with no upgrades on them, just siege tanks. Very, very, very cool. But just remember to put your add-ons on your barracks because it's important that as the game progresses, that you have that ability to, you know, get your upgrades quicker, man. Otherwise, excellent macro. This refinery, it doesn't need to be here for this push, I think. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man. I don't know why you switched to Terran. I'm going to do a little bit of balance wine here. I don't know why you switched to Terran because Protoss is so good now. But that's your decision. That's your choice, and I respect that. So glad to welcome another Terran brother into the fold. So for the UofTSCC Club, this has been a little brief episode of Office Hours. And I am the Wizard, going to be signing off. Stay tuned because we're going to have a bunch of video content coming out because as everybody at UofT knows, Christmas break soon. Pretty sick. I'm going to be doing tons of video stuff. Where me and Tim are looking at doing some top 5 plays of the week from UofT or top 5 plays of the month or something like that. Nice little montage competition from some of our higher level players. Which means that if you're a high level player listening to this, send in your replays, son. So yeah, for the UofTSCC Club, this is the Wizard, and I will see you all next time.